I can record it. I'll record it.
Because you guys may want it later.
Yeah, for training.
Yeah, yeah. Should I share my screen?
Yeah.
Do you mind? Because I can kind of show you some stuff here.
Yeah, kind of the basics to get them excited and started.
Yeah, yeah. What is that? Okay, so can you see my screen now? I've got a big mastermind group here on the top.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks guys. Neil, thanks for having me. So I'm with Listings to Leads. We've been around for just over 10 years now. I'm the VP of Sales, and what I do is I set up offices around the country and set up our large partnerships. And then another thing that I do is I set up what we call managed services. So there's some agents that don't want to actually get involved and do these things, and they kind of call me. I actually have an email just came in about somebody who wants seller leads, right? And I think a lot of people hear from our clients that we have a lot of great tools. I'm going to log into my account real quick. And one of those tools that's always really popular is what we call a home valuation landing page, right? And you've probably seen these over the years. There are many companies that have them, but we have them and they're really cost effective. You guys, I don't think have to think so much about that because you have a discounted office plan, right? And you're not paying us individually, but if you were, you'd find out, wow, this is actually a really affordable system, platform, right? And so a home valuation page looks like this. And I want to show you this because a conversation that I have almost every day revolves around seller leads, right? And what can we do to get more seller leads, right? And so they'll pay us, right? We have an ad team and they run ads and they kind of send things out. We put ads in, we drive people to a page like this and you put in your address and then you, the agent, gets addresses and ideally emails. So before we get into that, what I want to kind of discuss is what is the goal when you're trying to do that, right? And I often say to people, well, look, just, the price is $200 a month or it's $400 a month. We'll run 2 ads a week for you, or we'll run up to 5 ads a week. And with that, you'll have to spend some money on Facebook as well. But you'll get, somewhere between 200 and 400 plus leads every month, right? And that's cool, especially for a lot of realtors. That's an insane number, right? Like, whoa, I can't imagine getting 200 leads in 1 month, right? And that is what happens because that's how the internet works, and our team, that's all they do, so they're good at it, and it helps you out. But I have to ask people, what are you looking for, right? Because I also get these random calls from people asking me, hey, I don't know, I'm doing something wrong on trying to run an ad on Facebook for this, to get this on, and I'm not getting leads. And I can certainly point you in ways and tell you what you're doing wrong. But then I have to ask those people too, what is it that you want? Do you want to be an expert at running ads on Facebook? Do you want to be collecting email addresses and dripping on them for months or years and hoping you're going to get a lead? Or do you want contracts? Do you want listing contracts? And do you want to become, a buyer's agent? Do you want to actually do transactions? Because these are kind of 2 different things. Of course, having leads can lead to business, but lead quality is the biggest factor. And so you could be buying leads from Zillow, from Realtor.com, from all these fun companies, and we'll even run ads for you, and you'll get leads from that. But you will know that there is some conversion with let's see here, with an internet lead. And so here somebody, yeah, I'll do the lead part separately. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so what I want to talk about here though is why you need to use this. And the question comes up, this came up last summer. Somebody who we didn't know just said, hey, who here gets 2 or more listings a month strictly from listings to leads, right? And we got a bunch of people jumping in. And I don't think, let's just look at it. Alicia Pless here jumped in and said, hey, I started 45 days ago. I mailed something, got 2 listings from it. I can tell you, this lady, Alicia, this was last summer, has found one tool. And I'm going to show you that tool, and uses it consistently. I'd say she puts it out once a month, and she gets about 1 listing a month, right? Now, she's doing her other work, but she's also doing this. And I know from that particular post, because that went on for a while, she actually got 4 listings over 5 months from 1 mailing. And so she's excited. She has since that point decided to start her own company, and our system is being used for all of her agents in her company. So she found a really effective marketing system, basically. And that's awesome. We love to see that. But we also have another one here, and this is the one I wanted to point out to you. And I want you to kind of understand this. Dustin Fox came in here and said, for every listing that we market, we get 2 more listings. And we do this with Facebook ads, mailers, and open houses. We're trying to get that to above 3 this year, okay? And that means that they take a listing, their own listing, they run it through the platform, and they're doing a couple of things, and they do it kind of consistently. And they end up getting more listings, right? And that's a big deal, because if I tell you I can get you 200 listing leads by running ads, or say, hey, I'll give you the instructions for you to go run ads and go get your own listing leads, awesome, you can go do that. But if I say, hey, if you go over here and use these tools the way that Dustin does them, well, you, like Dustin, can quadruple your business, right? We did a call with this guy, Dustin, in January of this year. He's been an agent for 4.5 years. His office has given him listings to leads for 2.5 years. He went from 5 million in production to 20 million in production in 2 years. 80% of his business is coming from us. And these are his words, it's in that call. And then he covers the top 3 things he does. And then I ask him at the end of the call, how much time do you put in this, right? To go from 5 to 20 million is awesome. To say that 80% of your business comes from our tools, I'm excited, but how much time is that? 2 hours a week. He puts his daughter in his ballet class. He goes next door to the Starbucks and works for 2 hours while she's dancing. And that's how he kind of grew his business, right? So I will send this to you.
Perfect.
Neil,
Thank you.
I'll send this to you. It's actually not super deep in terms of the technicality of how to use our system, but I think it's important to see. And he actually has some really interesting stuff to talk about regarding Facebook and how he applies Facebook, not necessarily how you run ads, but just kind of. And so one important thing is, when this whole lockdown thing started with the coronavirus, Scott and I started doing a lot of webinars. We figured people are home. We need to talk, we need to make sure that they're getting some value right now, because they're not out doing open houses and this and that. And so we started doing a bunch of live up-to-date trainings on the whole platform. And so I want to make sure that you guys get in this mastermind group. All right. This is a private group. It's not easy to find. Neil says he's in it, and Neil can get in it and invite you, and then we'll accept it and you'll be in. Okay. You'll see this big blue banner. And I want you to go down, and I want you to look. I'm going to show you a couple of things in this page, and I'll show you a few tools inside. This post right here, it kind of says, click here to register. Realtors stuck inside with time on your hands. This is a blog post where you can register for live classes if you want. We do a couple, 2 or 3 every week. But we've also, all of the things that we want to go over, we kind of go over the main parts of the system. They're recorded here. So when you have your own time and you want to figure out how can I leverage this great platform, this is the place to start. And I want to kind of give you some of the highlights. If you're somebody who is interested in leveraging video, there are a lot of different types of video. You might shoot your own with your own iPhone. You might be paying a professional videographer. You might have something from Matterport. That video there will show you a lot of great ways of how to embed it in our system and capture leads with it. Landing pages with social media marketing, automated. So this here, which I was showing you earlier, is a home valuation landing page. We can auto post this to your business pages now. We can auto post are other landing pages like new construction, right? And we can do this to your Facebook business pages, to your Twitter pages. This one's got some weird stuff because I was showing people how to use video and stuff like that. So sorry about that. But yeah, and so, but the point is, we can put those things on your social media automatically. And then automated marketing, this here talks about how to market listings, whether they're your listings or borrowed. And I'll kind of blast through that real quickly, but you'll be able to get really slow step-by-step instructions here. And also, this is really good. Actually, I sat on this call with Scott. It's free and cheap lead gen for sellers and buyers. And because a lot of people have heard like, hey, I can boost and I can run ads and I can do all this and that. But there's actually a lot of really inexpensive ways to use our tools to capture leads. And that's what this class, free and cheap, covers. And the last one I want to mention is the top 7 seller lead gen tools, okay? And that ranks, that basically covers a blog post. And let's go in here and I'll kind of point you to another place. That is on the Get Started page. So every time you log in, there's this page where it says Learn More over here on the left under Get Started. And we talk about our top 5 tools for total lead gen, but we also talk about this here. It says top 7 seller lead gen tools. And these tools are ranked not in how many leads they get, but in how fast those leads turn into business, right? How fast do they turn into a contract? Again, do you want to be collecting email addresses or do you want contracts, right? And Angie's right there. I don't know if you can see that, Neil. We need to, that's for some reason, it's such a blurry thing there. But a quote from Angie Cody is talking about this because the print flyer for Nearby Homeowner is actually the #1 tool for capturing listing leads that turn into contracts. If you use this, you might get 5 leads. You might get 10 leads. At the bottom of our list is taking a home valuation landing page and running a Facebook ad, right? That's kind of this thing here, right? It's at the bottom of our list. You run that on the weekend, you might get 20 to 50 leads on a weekend, but they will not convert as quickly as everything above it, right? The print fly for Nearby Homeowners is the #1. E-fly for your database. Seller social media posts are great, right? And then pending and sold marketing. So I really want you guys to know this because I think, and I'm pretty sure Neil would agree, the more listings you have, the more likely your business is going to grow. If you're handling a bunch of buyers, that is it's a bit of a time sink. It's a different kind of business, but the more listings you have, the more you can actually do. And this page right here covers that. And also this video right here, if you don't want to read it, you want to kind of watch how to do it, that is right here. This is all under the blog post that is right under this in the mastermind group. So I definitely want you guys to get familiar with that and spend a little bit of time to get your arms around this. Now, I'm going to show you a couple more things because I had mentioned, what we think is the #1 tool for capturing listing leads, and it's the Nearby Homeowner letter. And this guy that I mentioned earlier, Dustin, he's one of the people that, had to come in the group and said, I got to tell you, our highest ROI is that letter, right? So that letter, I'm going to show you where to get it. He prints it. This is the same letter that Angie Cody is printing. So Neil, when Angie Cody gets this, she prints 100 for each property she has, and then she mails them out bulk mail, right? And she's got some bulk mail service, and so she'll mail like 300 or 500 to separate neighborhoods. But she sends like 100 around the neighborhood of where she's selling something. And this letter is pretty straightforward, but let me kind of give you the highlights. It says we've sold something on top, or you got an open house on top, or you've got something just listed. And you can go to this website, go to this on your computer, right? But then it also says when this home sells, it's going to affect your home value. Or it updates based if the home is sold. So that letter is really, it's not, it's not sexy. It is not an AI. It's no cloud computing. It is just straightforward. I'm professional enough to sell a home in your neighborhood. And you can go learn about it there, and you can get your free home value here if you'd like. You will get, most likely, and it happens, it depends on this one lady I was mentioning earlier, Alicia Pless. Every time she mails this, she gets one listing, right? She's excited. And actually the first one was her fourth. But this is how Dustin started. He said, I put it in a black envelope. I mail it first class. I put in a little one-page calendar, and then I put in a little one page of my Zillow reviews, right? And I mailed it. And I mailed it for $625 to 250 homes, right? But I got 10 listings with an average commission of 17,000. So a 625 spend for 170 grand is definitely a high ROI. I can tell you. Do you have your hand up there, Neil?
Yeah, I'll sign up.
Yeah, this is the guy who has grown from 5 million to 20 million. This is a serious part of his business. And other people, if you go and look at it, you'll see there's nearly 200 comments. This is something that our clients have been doing all over the country. And you might say, hey, I don't have listing, and I don't have budget for a 625 spend. There are different ways of using that tool. This woman here, her name is not Cheyenne Lake. It's Michelle something, but that's her kind of farm area. So she took that same letter and door knocked for 7 hours, 200 homes, and picked up 4 listings. So kind of a day of walking around to get 4 listings. I think that's not a bad return for your time either, right? Same exact letter. And so there are many ways to apply it, but I can just tell you, it is at the top of our list. It won't generate 50 leads in a weekend, but those leads convert faster than your.
And how does the team grab that letter?
Yeah, so let's go kind of look at that. So, and first of all, there's 2 sections to know. There's a listings section to our system, which obviously tools to market your listings, and a landing page section. That letter specifically is in the listing section. So anytime you have a listing, that letter is for each home, right? So I have listings in different towns. So I would want a letter that speaks to each different town. And so it's kind of listing specific. Now I want to say one thing. You might not have any listings, but you can borrow listings, all right? You can borrow listings from maybe colleagues in your office. Maybe the MLS allows you to borrow listings. But once that's in there, then you can start using it. And let's click on the task list here. For this listing, I've got an open house on it. And when we get to the task list, we'll give it a second to get there. There's a print marketing section. And the print marketing section, you open that circle. And let's give it a second. Nearby homeowner letter. And you just download it here, right? You download it, it's a PDF, and then you print it. But let me open it real quickly, and we'll just kind of have a look at it. Again, like I said, it's not super high tech. It says, hey, I've got an open house this weekend in your neighborhood, right? You can literally door knock this. And when that home is sold, it's going to affect your home value. And we've had clients who would say, you know what, we went door knocking for a couple of hours with this letter. And by the time we got back to our car, we had listing leads in our email, right? From this letter that we were using. And so that's just a really great way. Your picture will be here, your logo will be here. This letter works really well. Just whether you door knock it, you mail it, you put it in a box, first class, bulk mail, however you want.
Super easy. You click 2 buttons and it's there.
Yeah, that's right. And it's ready. And so one question that comes up is, and let's kind of go look at it, is that we have different statuses, right? Pending, under contract, coming soon, just listed, or sold. And so people will ask, what works better, right? Is it better to do it just sold or things like that? And that answer actually doesn't matter. The status doesn't matter, okay? Now, somebody asked, what do you think about COVID and door knocking? I obviously think, actually, I'm not against that, because I do think that you can be safe, and I think you can wear a mask. I also think that no matter with COVID or pre-COVID, if you were door knocking, you are probably not having your door opened all the time. You're not having a ton of conversations. So you can leave this behind, and people will open that up. They'll open the door, they'll get that, and they'll walk over to their computer and go look at that house. If they own a house and they're curious, that's how it works. So, you know, you have to be smart. Believe me, I'm really cautious about all this stuff. And I don't want anybody to be getting sick anywhere. And so, you know, you can sort of think of how you want to approach that. But it definitely, it works, and that is in there. So since we're in the task list, I want to show you a couple things about listings to leads, all right? So that you can understand why, you know, when Dustin says, I put in one listing and I get 2 or 3 more listings, how can that be, right? How can that be? And one great way to see that is the virtual tour, our lead gen virtual tour, which we automatically generate and we email to you, right? And so this is about an open house. You can see a red banner up here on the top, open house, right? When the follow this home lead capture form pops up, it's saying, hey, this is, you know, time sensitive. If you want to learn more, click this button. At this point, you've got my name and email. And then we also ask the question right here, do you own a home? Because you guys know, I don't know if you've experienced this yourselves, but a lot of buyer leads are actually seller leads, just poking around, just trying to figure out. And so we ask the question, right? You know that one, Neil, right? And so right here, it's like, hey, do you own a home? Yes, no, right? And and obviously you're going to have the answer. And so see the details now. This just pushes us back to the single property website. Now over here on the left, we've got this interesting thing here that we call lead gen links. And this might sort of sound like it's getting in the weeds, but there is a link right here that says, what is your home worth? You guys each have that link in your account. You want to make sure that your username, mine is vmeza, okay? You want to make sure that your username is in that landing page, because that means that the leads captured from this page are going to you. Otherwise, when we set it up at the office, if somebody clicks that link on the side of your listing and they fill that out, well, that lead might go to Neil, right? So you can go in there, that's your lead link. I'll show you where to do that. But let's keep going down. There's all the obvious stuff you would think on a property, but then there's another big call to action. What is your home worth, right? So, and then you keep going and you can see pictures and maps and schools and all that fun stuff. And then there's your reviews if you have Zillow reviews. And then at the bottom is another big call to action. What is your home worth? So we are driving to get you more listings, even if you're marketing a home for sale. And that's a big part of our system. If it's an e-flyer, this is a virtual tour, or if it's a single property website, it's got multiple call to actions. So you can get buyers and sellers through the whole process. So what we always tell people, and I want to kind of slow down here, you'll notice that on my checklist, I have 5 things checked. And I want you guys to know this, because what I want, it may not be at the end of this call, but at some point, ideally it's this year, each of you understand that if you take a listing and market it, you will get more listings. And that's better for you, right? And so
that's our duty. Like every time you have a listing, you have to suck as many listings out of that listing as you can.
Exactly. And the way to do that is with these 5 tools right here. All right. And there's one for your social media, for your seller's social media, virtual tour, e-flyer for your database, and print marketing. Now, print marketing, we already talked about, so you sort of get that. The one for your social media, we can actually do automatically for you, meaning we will push it automatically to your social media. This is the page we want to get out for your social media.
And that happens, guys, just by setting up your listing to leads account and syncing it with Facebook.
Yeah.
The tool does this automatically. Like when he says they do it, it's not you send an email, like literally automatically. You see it on my page all the time. updates, right? So when you go into listing the leads, update it from coming soon to just listed. Listing the
Yeah.
leads will, check out this
Blast it.
update, just listed, right? It'll blast everywhere.
Yeah, once you get your social media auto posting turned on, which you do on your profile, you remember I was talking about we have different statuses here,
Yep.
active. But all you got to do at this point, like this is active. So now I'm going to say, well, I have the open house. Now I'm going to say it's under contract, right? And when you make that change, bam, we email you a bunch of tools, but we auto post to your social media for you. And the way that that's done, it's excellent because the auto post is designed to capture leads for you. So really that's the thing you want to do is really take advantage of the statuses. And let me show you what it looks like on social media. This is what it looks like on Facebook. Give me a second to get there. If you're posting your properties to Facebook, you got to ask yourself, what do they look like? What's the functionality? What's it doing for me, right? For us, this is an automated post. It says listings to leads, but this would actually be on your business page. And it says open house in Berkeley. If you're using our text service, that would be auto embedded. A couple words about it. Click below for more information. Emojis here, which are actually excellent for social media, and hashtag. But more importantly, while there's that really cool picture, if I click on the picture, there is the landing page that captures the contact information and gives it to you. So it's social media auto posting for, with lead capture. The other thing you should definitely be doing is if the home is in the buyer in looking for buyers, and that means open house just listed coming soon, then you should boost that. Okay, and Neil, this is going to be a little bit techie, but you know what it means. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. You know what it means to boost, right? So if that's the case, what happened here? Sorry, guys. Where am I? Yeah. If that's the case, you boost it. That's awesome for getting buyers. But when you change the property to under contract, pending, or sold, well, now you don't want to boost that. You want to go run an ad on Facebook up here and drive traffic to it. And you want to turn off placements so that it is not going on mobile. So I want you to learn one thing from this call. Let me click on creating an ad. We'll talk about it. There are kind of two things. Until you get good at understanding Facebook, I recommend that all ads that you create always use traffic. Okay, and you'll see it in just a second here when you're on Facebook, because it gives you what's your consideration. What do you want to do? Do you want conversions? Do you want engagement? Do you want lead gen down here? These are the things that you can do. And always use traffic. So when you see the ad, when we see the ad online and people click on it, when they click on it, we want to drive that traffic to the landing page. Okay, so that's one thing you got to remember. I'm not going to mess with all the rest of the stuff. There's one other area that I want you totally to understand, because this is the biggest reason why people lose money on Facebook, why realtors lose money. It's this little section right here. There's a section here that's audience. This is where you put your zip codes in, or your cities, whatever. That's not where you lose money. It's this section that nobody knows what it means, placements, okay? So I need you to understand this. If you're trying to run ads that are designed to get sellers, you need to turn off automatic placements. You check this little button here and then edit over here. And sometimes it looks different, but you gotta remember what we're trying to do, and I'll explain to you why. I'm gonna click on mobile, and that takes off mobile. And what that means is this ad will not show up on smartphones, okay? Now that might kind of, scramble your brain a bit, because you know that everybody is on Facebook on smartphones, right? But I don't know if you can hear, my phone over here is buzzing because I'm getting messages all the time. And I might use my phone all the time and look at Facebook 50 times a day. I might be listening to somebody speak on a webinar like this right now. I might be in line at Starbucks. I might be driving my car. I might be doing a million different things. And I see your cool ad and I click on it and somebody says, how can I help you? And then, oh, I put it down and I'm not going to fill out your form. But when I clicked on that ad, I chewed up $1 to $2 of your ad spend. And so this is a very common mistake that most people don't know because frankly, we just, how would we know what that is? You'd have to get on the phone with me or Scott and know what that is. Even Scott, Facebook advertising, I don't think has been around for like 5 years. And even Scott didn't know this until like just a few months ago. He's like, dude, this is what's happening. This is why people are losing money. And then he gets it. The rest of it is all cake, right? The rest is, you probably know that. I don't want to waste everyone's time here on ad spend, but those are the two major things that you got to think about. And the reason why I'm saying this again is that when we do an auto post, you can boost this. This is great if the status is for getting buyers. But when a home is pending or sold or just or under contract, you want to go create an ad and drive traffic to it.
And Vincent, I'm trying to remember, maybe Coach Angie, how much does she spend on daily budget for boosting posts? Like $3 a day or something bananas? Or 10?
So yeah. And it's always like, it's like 10 days or 7 days that she always boosts something.
Yep. And open houses, right? She has a timeline, right? Open house Saturday, she'll boost it Thursday, Friday.
That's right.
Saturday morning, $10 a day, you guys. And boosting a post is like 4 clicks and it's boosted, or something.
It's
pretty
so
easy.
fast. Yeah. Actually, since we're saying that, let me show you that, see if I can get back there real quick. I actually recommend it. And I want to say this in case this question you want to ask, but you don't. There are a lot of people out there, like internet gurus and people like me that say boosting is not good. It's not good. But if you go in our mastermind group, you'll find that agents are all the time saying, wow, I boosted this and I put on $20 and I'm getting leads all over the place very quickly. So let me show you how you boost it real quick. When you're logged in, you'll see the post. You can click on this. We also, by the way, we email you. We send you an email saying we have auto posted for you. We give you a little picture and you can click on that and get to it so that you can actually boost from your phone. From the email that we send you, you can just click on it, go look at it, boom. Notice here, it says send people to your website, link clicks. That's what you want to do. You want to drive the traffic from that click to the page, right? Now you choose your audience, which you could say, hey, I want people who live within 15 miles of Mission Viejo or wherever you are. Say, when do you want it to? I want it to be 4 days or 5 days. And then you want a budget of $10. So if it's 5 days, that's $2 a day. And what they're saying, I'd like you to see this. It says estimated daily reach is 250 to 740. So basically 500 people for 5 days, 2,500 people are going to see this, right? That's what this is saying for $10. Now, I don't know, Mission Viejo may have a different density than you are, but you need to think about like, okay, I'm going to spend $10 and 2,500 people are going to see it. X number of people will click on it. And there you go, right? And that's it. You click boost, boom, it's done. And that works for buyers.
One big thing, guys, especially if we're sending out the letters, right? It's like an all-encompassing, like, holy crap, we see you everywhere type deal. So even if they don't click it, they still see it.
Yeah.
Then they see your letter, and then they see your knocking on the door. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, they really crush it, So. Yeah,
that's totally true. So, let's cancel this and let's talk about I was going somewhere and of course I forgot it. Well, let's go back.
About the seller marketing.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I want to point out step number 1, we can do automatically for you. At that point, I would recommend that you go boost it, right? Or drive an ad to it. But then the next one is the seller's social media. And this is, we email it to you automatically. If you change your home from just listed to open house or from open house to under contract, we're going to email this tool to you. And it is probably it's the one that's ignored the most from our clients. And it's a shame. And I think it's really Scott and my fault because Scott always thinks that everybody likes to read our instructions. And I'm telling him, like, they don't. I know they don't, right? And so I want to show you how this works. this tool goes to your client. We send it to your client.
This is the one, guys, I got like 100 leads in 24 hours. It was like ding, 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 because my sellers posted it on their Facebook.
Yeah. And so I just showed you how we can auto post to your own social media. But this letter you get to your client, you say, hey, client, we want to do this open house. We got as many people as we can see. Would you put it on your social media for us too, right? We want more people, more offers, better price. But notice what it's saying. If you click on that picture, I guarantee you there's a lead capture form behind it. And that's what Neil was saying. He's getting all these leads. But really what's going on is it's your client saying, hey, we're having an open house. Our home just listed, our home just sold, and Neil is our
huge for social proof, guys. It's a big deal.
Totally. And you have a tool like this 3 or 4 times during the life cycle of the listing. Your clients have hundreds of friends, family, colleagues, right? That they're communicating with and sharing recipes and kid pics and cat pics and all that fun stuff. Now they're telling their friends that you are their realtor. And if they click on it, and when they click on it, well, now they're looking at this. And you remember how I said that we always have multiple hooks in here for home valuation? Well, it's right there. And now this is a home value lead that's actually coming with your client's kind of seal of approval, right? And I'm going to show you something here back in the mastermind group a couple weekends ago. That letter, there are a lot of our clients that use it, but this one woman, Alicia Pless, came in, it was about 2 Saturdays ago, and she posted here, right here. She said, she says, I'm having a moment this morning. I'm receiving seller leads from my home values, but here's the thing. I didn't send out the letter. I didn't blast out an email, which also captures leads for her. And I don't have my ads out. I'm not running any ads. So what's going on? And I said, are you using this thing for your client? And she says, yeah. I said, well, that's it. That's when your client's friends decide to log in and they just start scrolling through Facebook and they say, oh, my sister or whoever is selling their home and Neil's their client, their realtor. That is where it works. Again, this is not where you're going to get, well, Neil, it sounds like you got a lot of leads, but that doesn't always happen. Usually it's it's like a 5 or 10. And so, but these are high quality leads. These should be really useful for you. So when we first get the listing, we actually email you and we say, hey, would you like to automate the referrals? And you drop in their email and their first name. And then we'll send those to the client from your email address and we'll copy you. That's a signal for you to pick up the phone and say, hey, I just sent you something and I know you get 100 emails a day. Would you just copy that and put it on Facebook for me? We want to get as many people to your home as you can. Okay. So these 2 things are automated. All you got to do is boost the first one if you want extra reach and more leads. And this one, just make a 5-second phone call, courtesy call, right? The virtual tour is something that you may or may not want to do because Neil, I know you've got your team, but are you part of a bigger franchise?
No.
Okay. So the thing to do with the virtual tour is to take our lead gen virtual tour, which has all the lead capture I've shown you, and we put a virtual tour together for you, and just copy the link here and go find your listing on Zillow and drop it there. Your listings get seen not 100 times on Zillow, maybe 10 to 20 to 30. But when people ask a question, you might get a lead, but if you do, 3 other agents get it too. If they click on our virtual tour, you're the only one.
Gotcha. That's a good point.
Right? Now, the e-flyer for your database, Neil, do you guys use CRMs?
Yep, Chime,
yeah. Oh, yeah. So, CRMs, the thing that we think of CRMs is drip campaign. You got to have a drip campaign for your buyers and for your sellers. This looks a lot like that print flyer we were looking at. I got an open house this weekend. Click here or click here to go learn about it and let me capture a lead on you as a buyer. But when it's sold, it's going to affect your home value. So you can click here or here and become a listing lead for me. So this flyer is actually, and then we've got our signature at the bottom. That flyer is kind of key, right? And we really recommend that you use that at least once a week on your database. Because your database, if you got, I'm sure Chime has some kind of drip campaign, right? And I don't know much about Chime, meaning I have not heard about the conversion of their drip campaign. And that's really the key. We're agnostic when it comes to CRMs, but we do feel like you all need one. If you're going to capture leads and hope that they convert in one email response, that's not realistic. But dripping on them is a must. But the thing about our e-flyer is it has links, it has hooks for them to kind of raise their hand again or become a lead again. And so we've had clients that have been sitting on leads for, a couple thousand leads, 3,000 leads that they bought over the years, and they're just not doing anything. And they take this one time, drop it in, and boom, a dozen of them say, yeah, I want to buy or sell something, right? And that's the point of that flyer. These are the 5 things, guys. And as I mentioned, number 1 and number 2 are done automatically. The virtual tour you only do one time. If you put it in Zillow and then you go over here to the status and you change it to it's pending or it's sold, you don't need to touch a virtual tour. It just dynamically updates in the back. So that's like set the virtual tour and just keep an update on the status. The e-flyer for your database, we really recommend once a month, a week. But if you got more listings, you can certainly do that more often, because basically it's going to capture more leads for you. And the print marketing, you make that decision when you want to use it, right? So that's it. I think if you do these 5 things and you update your status, you're going to be psyched. You're going to get more buyers and listings from every one of your listings. I just recommend that you use this for each listing more than once. And so when your system, let's just assume you turned on auto posting on your profile and your listing hits our system as just listed. Boom, we send you a bunch of tools, we auto post a bunch of tools, awesome. If you put it on an open house, add the open house, and then bam, all the tools go out again, social media again. If you don't do an open house, but it goes under contract, change it like this to under contract and do that. And then when that thing closes, change it to closed, just closed. So try to use your listings minimum 3 times. And I think you'll see some really, and use the tools that I just showed you. You'll see a lot of buyers and you'll see a lot of seller leads. And that's really the key to this. The other half of the section, guys, are landing pages that we were looking at earlier. And I just want to kind of say this, because there's always, well, first of all, these first 3 we can auto post to your social media pages. Down payer assistance, which you can customize. Free home values, which you know what that is, and new construction. But I just want to point out that, and then we'll go back to the new construction one again. You can customize these landing pages for anything you need, right? You might want to customize them for a particular development, for a condo, maybe for golf course properties, or whatever, right? Horse properties, investor properties. You've got a message that you want to share. There are multiple ways of customizing this page. You'll notice that I have a video in the small left side here. You can also say, I want that whole video to be the whole background. And I've got Bossa Nova Homes to say, you change that however you want to change that, right? Let's see here. I think I had a question pop up. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, give me a second. Is this setting on Facebook or an L to L? Is what setting? Anna has a question. Is this setting 1033? Oh, that was a while ago. That was a bit ago. Sorry, Anna, I missed your question.
I'll get that answered.
Yeah, sorry. She's asking, is this setting on Facebook or L to L? And I think we were talking about seller leads at that time. And that's some settings that I was showing you on boosting and on the other stuff. So that's kind of what I want you to know about landing pages. You know, you should have, and Neil, do any of you, are you investing in video content at all?
Not as much as we should be, buddy.
Well, if you find that you are, or you find that you're doing Matterport, whether you're doing it with your smartphone or if you're paying somebody, this is a drone video that I grabbed from YouTube, but you'd be surprised if you like this kind of thing or you want to incorporate this kind of thing. If you go do like drone video in Minneapolis, you'll see, I'm sure, 20 different videos from different people. And you can email and say, hey, could I buy a copy of that or buy, and then they'll say, yeah. And there you go, $50. That we did that once as well. And it's like,
That's awesome.
it just
I
makes
did
it
that
really
for my team website. Actually, I stalked the guy and found him on somewhere and paid for the video. So
yeah, exactly. So that's an easy way if you don't want to go do your own thing or go hire your own, videographer and go through all that. Just go to YouTube and say, hey, I would love that. Can I buy it, a copy of that or something like that? I'm going to use it here. And that usually works out really well. So anyway, that's what you can do. There are lots of things you can do with landing pages. Obviously, I've shown you what I think you need to do with your listings, and keep an eye on us in our mastermind group, right? I mean, I think that's, and let me ask you, I know with COVID, it's difficult with open houses, but before that, did you do open houses?
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay, so I want to show this to you. This came in last year, but this is actually, our clients do this all over the place. And so I'm going to kind of read this to you, and then I'm going to wrap it up so you guys can go get some work done. Because I wanted to share my latest on my new listing. And she said, I did a 3-day coming soon campaign, then switched it to active, which all she meant is she toggled it from coming soon to active. I pushed the post to my sellers. We both posted on neighborhood and community and personal pages. I paid for a $30 active post and a $21 open house ad. And I used our text cell writer, and I put the neighborhood letter that I showed you to 250 homes. Total marketing time, 7 days. So a little bit longer than what Angie Cody does, Neil, right? Results, 82 leads, 10 texts to sell, 60 people in my open house. The neighbor came by and said, you're in front of 99% of all other agents. And other agents are saying, how did you do this? How did you get this kind of result? And then she says, to say I'm thrilled is an understatement. This lady is hitting it in our system all the time. And that's just using a couple of the tools that I showed you and ran a couple of ads. That was it. Okay. And I think that's awesome results. So again, that's what we want to see, is those kinds of results replicated as often as possible by our clients. So that's my story for today, guys. Oh,
awesome.
Oh, what?
One more thing. Got one more.
Right here.
There's more.
But more, that's right. Right here on June 11th, we released, and I think you know this, Neil, something called My Farm Dominator. And I think, Neil, did you get an email from me?
Yep, I did.
Yeah, I would share this with the team, because this video, that they can either go here and watch it here or go there. But what this does is this allows us to reach into the MLS and pull in multiple listings at one time. So if you say, you know what, I really want to build my market in 3+ bedrooms under $500,000, right? Or maybe from 400,000 to 500,000, or whatever your criteria is, you can sort of see it. That will pull them in. Now, I don't know your local MLS rules, but it'll pull them in, and we can auto post to social media for you. We can give you a couple of tools that you can use. It's not the full set of tools, because marketing with other agents' pictures has some certain MLS rules, but there are enough tools for you to capture leads. And so this is a tool specifically designed for agents that don't have their own listings, but need to bulk up their business. It just makes it really easy to do. Okay. So that, awesome. You have that, Neil. I definitely recommend you share that with the team. I'm going to send you, I'm going to send you two things. A link from Dustin Fox, who was the guy that went from 5 to 20 million, and the video on top 7 seller lead gen tools, because I think these two things will really help you out to just help you grow your business. So any questions, anyone? Well, Neil, thanks for having me.
Sounds good, Vincent. Seriously, thank you so much, buddy.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank
You
you so
guys-
much.
You are welcome. Stay safe.
Yes,
I
you too.
tell you, the trick to listings to leads is just using the tools.
Yeah, just do it. Log in and do it.
Yeah.
Neil, if you could send that, I've been driving this whole time, so I haven't been able to watch the, you could send the recorded version